Welcome to Mallory Park for round 3 of the ThundersportGB Championships, and we have a cracking race coming up for you. It's the RLR Motorsports.com 600 Sportsman Elite on pole position there, number 8, the championship leader, Dan Hegarty. Second place there, a familiar face in the ThundersportGB paddock on the super stock machine, Danny Murphy, number 1, 2, 3, and another one to the left of him. Or to the right on circuit anyway. 100, Connor Tagg, the reigning GP2 champion with ThundersportGB, and then a former GP3 contender, number 74, that is Curtis Wright. A lot of competitive riders in this field at ThundersportGB. The guys at the front of this lapping with times that would put themselves probably in chance with some decent points at British Championship level. And as the lights go out, it looks as though it's a good start once again for the pole man, Dan Hegarty. And, well, there's no missing that day-glow yellow bike of Tom McHale, who's swooped around the outside of one or two riders and has moved up into the second place there. The luminous yellow bike, and in fact he's going to go from second to first. Up into the lead he goes then, Tom McHale. He had a fantastic start to the season back at Brands Hatch as all of the riders try and make it through Edwina's nice and safe. This championship, of course, features F600s and Superstock 600s, and we've got a problem there already for number 38, that's Stan Harrison, who's cruising around and hopefully be able to make it back into the paddock. But it's Tom McHale that leads. Panning back, you can see a number of Superstock bikes. Usually, provided they've all been good boys and girls, the Superstock machine should have the red background with the yellow numbers, and the F600 riders tend to have the white backing with the blue numbers. But not everyone follows the rules, folks. They are motorcycle racers after all. It is Tom McHale that leads. Oh, and Dan Hegarty pushed out onto the grass. There's no grip on there. He stays upright. He remains in second place. It's Tom McHale that leads. Hegarty on the grass in second. That's Danny Murphy in third. Connor Tagg fourth. I think that's Andy Lawson, the Scotsman who's won 2 ThundersportGB championships in the 2 years that he's been with us, in fourth place, sorry. It is Tom McHale that leads. Oh, and he has to sit up there. He takes a whole lot of curve just into the bus stop. There is Andy Lawson, 101, just ahead of Connor Tagg. That's number 19, Blake Walls, who's got off to a fine start on the Yamaha. Further back, that's number 77, John Aitken, out on a Yamaha R6, trying to get himself up into the points. But back at the front, Tom McHale leads. Dan Hegarty has recovered. Look at the speed of that Kawasaki. And the rear end comes up as Tom McHale breaks late into Edwina's and remains in the lead. But the speed shown from Dan Hegarty's Kawasaki there, unbelievable. There is Andy Lawson just up ahead of Connor Tagg. That's the battle for third place. And Blake Walls, oh, and there's a rider down there. That's number 97. I believe that's Richie Connell, a rider that also enters the HMT Pre-National 600s. Not a rider with a lot of experience, and he's a bit winded after that, and that will happen if you've high-sided out of Edwina's. And we've got red flags here. We've got red flags. And so Richie Connell out of this race. We will be in for a fresh restart. So we'll be up for a fresh restart here in the RLR Motorsports.com 600 Sportsman Elite. There'll be no change to the grid. It will be Dan Hegarty starting from pole on the right on the green Kawasaki, number 8, ahead of Danny Murphy, 1, 2, 3, Connor Tagg, 100, and Curtis Wright on the inside on the Triumph, number 74. And this time, well, it's once again a fantastic start from number 8, Dan Hegarty. Number 4, Tom McHale, the bright yellow Honda CBR 600, didn't get off to quite as good a start, but he's managing to get round the outside of one or two riders, and once more up to second place goes Tom McHale. But it's a brilliant start from Dan Hegarty, and he's going to try and pull away already. In third there, overtaking about 3 riders on the brakes into Edwina's, is Andy Lawson, the Scotsman. He won the Mini Twins Championship at the first time of asking back in 2010, and in 2011 he was the Thundersport 500 champion. We wondered what he could do on a 600, and he's proving it here, and it looks as though he's gone past Tom McHale and up into second place now. So Lawson up to second. There's the race leader, Dan Hegarty, championship leader. There's Andy Lawson, 101. What a rider he is. 23 there. Well, that's Kyle Wilkes, so Hale, he's fallen well back. Kyle Wilkes, great stuff from Kyle, who started 7th on the grid. Andy Lawson, I should just add, has come from 12th on the grid to be up in the 2nd place. There's number 224, Barry Teasdale. He won that ride into the RLR Motorsports.com 600 Sportsman Elite, having taken most points from Donington in the HMT Pre-National Sport 600 race. But it is Hegarty from Lawson, from Kyle Wilkes, from Danny Murphy, then Connor Tagg. That's Curtis right now tipping in, ahead of Blake Walls, and number 50, Sam Thompson. A good solid start from Sam Thompson. Barry Teasdale is up into what? He's up into the top 10. Tom McHale really struggling around there. Do we have a few spots of rain out on circuit? It's looking pretty slippery in sections around here. Yeah, that is quite a wet circuit. I will have to just check my records. I believe this has started as a wet race, therefore tyre choice is your own. There's Kyle Wilkes then, just up ahead of Danny Murphy. Andy Lawson in 2nd. So it has been called a wet race as number 23. Kyle Wilkes goes, well, takes that outside line. Danny Murphy there on the Super Stock 600 bike. Of course, he collects points overall, but he also takes points in the Super Stocks as well. A championship which he leads, I should just add. It's still Hegarty that leads from Andy Lawson. There is 3rd place man Kyle Wilkes, but up the inside goes Danny Murphy, a rider from Rochdale. He's been everywhere with ThundersportGB. Started out as a super team. Originally, he was a kart racer, but kart racing's expensive, as is bike racing. He then went on to a 450 Aprilia, then to British Championship last year. Didn't get the track time, so here he is back with ThundersportGB. Back at the front of this one, the RLR Motorsports.com 600 Sportsman Elite. Hegarty's away with it. There's Lawson in 2nd, and Danny Murphy in 3rd. Hegarty, I should just add, on a Formula 600 bike. It is more tuned than 2nd place man Andy Lawson, and 3rd place Danny Murphy. Tom McHale, maybe he's gone for the wrong tyres there. He's struggling way down there in 13th or 14th place, so he could be one of the few riders that's opted for a dry setup. There's Jodie Chalk, number 7, female rider, just up ahead of number 30, Liam Shellcock, rider from Oban. Also up a long drive from Oban, up in Scotland. Back to the front, there's some spots of rain there. Dan Hegarty it is that leads it from Andy Lawson, Danny Murphy, Kyle Wilkes and Connor Tagg, who's having a bit of a lonely race in 5th. Blake Wall 6th, Sam Thompson 7th. And we've got a change for 8th place, that's number 65, Jason Brown. And that red flag did come out earlier on because we did see some specks of rain out on circuit. That may well have resulted in as to why Richie Connell high-sided, or he might have high-sided before the rain, of course. This is the battle for 2nd place between Andy Lawson on the Kawasaki and the Yamaha of Danny Murphy. But out front there, Dan Hegarty is running away with this one. The rider that races out of Nottingham for the Cross Lane Garage Kawasaki team, also in the Morello Services GP1 Championship, and he's got a decent chance of finishing in the top 3 at both championships. In this one, he leads. And with no Sam Hornsey here, and with Tom McHale falling back through the pack, he's going to extend his championship lead quite considerably. This, the battle for 2nd overall. More importantly, the battle for Superstock 600 supremacy between Andy Lawson and Danny Murphy. This fight here, further back, is, well, these are all between 8th and 14th. Jodie Chalk just at the back of that pack, but in 14th place, number 7. Sorts of riders go through there. Simon Critchlow, 21, Darryl Jones, Dan Shaler, Ryan Peters, Glenn Harrison, Oliver Dupoy, John Aiken, Chris Wilkinson, Matt Pearce. Tom McHale not having a good run of things there. He must have the standard road tyres on his machine, the dry setup on the Formula 600, because he's just got no grip at all and is down outside the top 50. He's out of the points. There is Andy Lawson with the blue and white leathers on the Kawasaki in 2nd place, with Danny Murphy in 3rd. You just saw Dan Hegarty, he's already in and through Edwinas. Danny Murphy, you just get, you have to wonder whether or not Danny Murphy is just biding his time here. He can see that Hegarty's already run away with this at the front. The chances are on the less powered Superstock bike, he won't be able to catch up with Hegarty, so maybe just waiting. There's Barry Teasdale, up at a 74. Curtis Wright, that's for 8th and 9th. That's a good effort from Barry Teasdale, a rookie this year from the northeast. Back to the fight for second between Andy Lawson and Danny Murphy. Murphy exits Devil's Elbow, and you can see from that camera angle there the rain coming down. Look at all these bikes here. This is the battle for 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th. Ross Ashman, Jason Brown, Barry Teasdale, Curtis Wright, Blake Wold, Sam Thompson. Great stuff. There's number 71, Ross Ashman, leading it. Sam Thompson in there as well. Curtis Wright, number 74, just at the back of the pack. Behind Curtis, you've got the likes of Critchlow, Daryl Jones, 176, and Jody Chalk inside the points also. Hegarty still leading. He's 3 or 4 seconds up the road. It's Lawson in 2nd place and Danny Murphy in 3rd there, number 1, 2, 3. We've got a rider whose arm's up and he's missed his braking points altogether, so maybe he's got a problem, and that is Jamie Devine, a rider that has already won a race so far this season. Jamie Devine pulls out of this race, and that'll be a shame. Jamie, a rider we're used to seeing, certainly in dry conditions, challenging for a top 5 or 6th place. And, well, here's a question for you. Andy Lawson and Danny Murphy in 2nd and 3rd. Are they closing in on the race leader, Dan Hegarty there? They've closed down the gap and their lap times. Well, yes, that time around, Danny Murphy is 2nd quicker. There's Ross Ashman, Blake Walls, number 65 is Jason Brown, up there to Sam Thompson, Barry Teasdale and Curtis Wright. Really impressed with Barry Teasdale here in this race. He's a rookie, he's won the entry into this round, and he's putting on a good show. He's going to get himself some points. Dan Hegarty coming into some traffic up ahead, and here comes Danny Murphy up the inside. The back end squirming, beautifully done there from the rider from Rochdale. He moves up ahead of the Scotsman Andy Lawson into 2nd place. The leader of the Superstock Championship. That is the battle overall for the championship as well, because Lawson is P2 in the Superstocks. There is 65 Jason Brown holding off Blake Walton. There's Barry Teasdale, Curtis Wright and Sam Thompson. Not seen much of this man. Cross lane garage number 8 machine of Dan Hegarty, and do you know what? Danny Murphy is reading him in. A 56.6 that time, a 57.8 from Dan Hegarty on that last lap. Danny Murphy is pulling in the race leader. The great thing about these conditions, the inclement conditions, is it does level out the playing field a little, and the difference in power won't be quite as significant in these conditions. Yeah, okay, on the start-finish straight, he's got a chance to pull away, but Dan Hegarty here, his laps are slowing, and there is Danny Murphy. Danny Murphy, well, he's got him now in his sights, and I think he wants to close him down. Meanwhile, Andy Lawson, I think, is just happy to settle for 3rd. There is 4th place man Kyle Wilkes and Connor Tagg. We've not had much of a chance to see these two. Kyle Wilkes has come on a long way in just a few short rounds. Last season, he started out on that 600, and he's getting to grips with it now. Connor Tagg, of course. Well, every time you see Connor Tagg, you have to say he looks like an experienced rider, but he's still so young. Just 17 years old, remember, and he's already a champion at ThundersportGB level. There's the race leader, Hegarty, number 8, ahead of Danny Murphy. In 3rd there on the Kawasaki 101, Andy Lawson. There's Tom McHale. He's being lapped. Tom McHale, 3rd in the championship, is being lapped, and that's what happens when you make the wrong decision on tyres. Dan Hegarty there, just going around Matt Pearce, lapping him. He's coming under some pressure now from Danny Murphy, 1, 2, 3 on the Yamaha R6. There he is. The rider that has impressed us in the past on an Aprilia 450 in the wet conditions. He doesn't mind the bike going sideways. Once again, we pan back to that scrap for 4th between Kyle Wilkes and Connor Tagg. Both of those riders are lapping at the same pace as race leader Dan Hegarty, who's coming under threat here. Further back there was 111, Ryan Peters, and there's your race leader, Dan Hegarty. He will be praying to see that last lap flag, praying. But here he goes across the line. It's not going to be long now. Oh, a bit of a shake from the rear end of number 23, Kyle Wilkes on the Kawasaki, and that's allowed Connor Tagg to get in his slipstream. Into Edwin as we go in amongst the traffic, and Danny Murphy is right on the tail of the race leader now. There's 43, that's Chris Wilkinson, He's back in 20th place. Carl Wilkes has got an angry wasp behind him in the form of number 100, Connor Tagg, as they head up through the S's. There's Blake Walls, Curtis Wright and Sam Thompson. They're fighting for 8th, 9th and 10th place. Some good scrapping elsewhere on the circuit, but this is what we wanted to see. Number 8 ahead of 1, 2, 3, Danny Murphy. And each lap we go around, Dan Hegarty, his lead is being eaten into by Danny Murphy, and the last lap flag is out. Well, if there were 2 or 3 left, my money would be on Danny Murphy, but he's got a lot to do in this last lap. There's only 1.39 miles around this Mallory Park circuit, and I would imagine from that last lap we've just seen from Hegarty, something on the pit board had said, get a move on, mate, because you're being caught. Into Edwin as they go, and Danny Murphy's running out of time now, and I think he's going to have to settle for 2nd place because Dan Hegarty has woken up all of a sudden. The race leader climbs up through the S's and towards Shaw's hairpin, and Danny Murphy now has raised the white flag and is going to accept, I think, 2nd place overall, but the win in the Superstock class. Out of the bus stop through Devil's Elbow, and collecting the win is championship leader Dan Hegarty of Cross Lane Garage Kawasaki. He wins it from Danny Murphy. A good effort from Danny. Hats off, sir. The win in the Superstock class goes to you. Andy Lawson will take 3rd place. It's going to be Kyle Wilkes that just crosses the line ahead of Connor Tagg for 4th place overall. And Ross Ashman will take 6th place. Confirmation there, it's Hegarty from Murphy, Lawson in 3rd ahead of Wilkes, Tagg and Ross Ashman in 6th. The Superstock podium, there you see Murphy with Lawson to the left and Kyle Wilkes to the right. And the Formula 600, Hegarty, Barry Teasdale and Blake Walls.
Danny Murphy, winner of the RLR Motorsports.com Superstock 600, and indeed almost the winner of the race overall, chasing Dan Hegarty on a Formula 600. That was mighty close.
Yeah, well, I just took it easy on the 2nd restart, so I was a bit frustrated that it started raining. Because in the first race I'd caught him up pretty quickly on that lap, but I just took my time, got into it, weighed up where I could get past Andy, and after that I just thought I'd try and catch him. It came to the last lap and I thought, I've got a big gap behind me, I'll just settle down a bit and just stay in the stock race and take the win for it. Well, yeah, I mean, it's better than laying in the gravel trap, obviously. Did you go for wets front and rear? Yes, wet front and rear. I'm glad I did, otherwise I'd have been a lot further down the field. Well, it was a tough choice, of course, because on the start-finish straight at the beginning of the race, it was dry here. Out of Gerrard's, and on the Stebby straight, it was wet. So it was a tough one to go, but it did rain proper afterwards. Yeah, it was dry, actually, for the majority of Gerrard's, and then it was just a bit damp coming round. It was a bit like it was in practice. But I got the feel of it, had a few moments, but got there in the end, so. Fantastic. I'm sure you've got some people to thank, Danny. Yeah, I'd like to thank Brent Millage from Kepston Limited. Mark and Alan from EPDL have come down today. Mac Tools, Dave Tully, Car Body Repair Shop, Fleet Graphics, and Nitro. Paddy and the guys at Day and Easy got a new suit. They helped us out a little bit with that. So yeah, thanks everyone. Fantastic. Well done and good luck in race 2. Thank you very much.
Back to Mallory Park for ThundersportGB. It's the RLR Motorsports.com 600 Sportsman Elite. Dan Hegarty, the championship leader on pole position. This class puts together all of the best riders from Formula 600, Superstock 600, all on one grid, racing together. And so far this season, we've seen some corking races. Dan Hegarty as leading the championship, as I mentioned, ahead of Sam Horns. And we just saw Connor Tagg there, number 100, the 17-year-old, going extremely well so far this season on that stock 600. He's got Danny Murphy alongside him, Curtis Wright, another rider. All of these young riders looking to make a name for themselves. The red lights go on and then off, and it looked like a good start for the Kawasaki of championship leader Dan Hegarty. You can just see him on the right of your picture there, and he does take the whole shot into Gerrard's with Connor Tagg in 2nd place. That looks like the fluorescent yellow bike of Tom McHale that's climbed into 3rd place. worth keeping an eye on number 101, Andy Lawson, also another rider that will be collecting as many Superstock 600 points as he can. In fact, that's him on the inside of your picture there, moving up into first place from fourth. What a move by the Scotsman, a double ThundersportGB champion, and the one rider in the background can't get things moving into Ed Wieners, but what a move that was from Andy Lawson. That looked like Blake Walls that was having one or two problems getting the bike through Ed Wieners. So it's Andy Lawson that leads from Dan Hegarty, Tom McHale in third ahead of Connor Tagg. There is Curtis Wright, number 74, just ahead of Kyle Wilkes, but onto the start-finish straight come the leaders. It's Kawasaki 1 and 2, with Andy Lawson leading Dan Hegarty, as we just see again there, Kyle Wilkes, who's put a move on Curtis Wright. Andy Lawson, of course, his first season with ThundersportGB, he won the Mini Twins Championship, followed that up last season with the Thundersport 500 Championship, and this year looking to try and become the champion of the Superstock 600s, and he's doing a good job leading this race overall into Ed Wieners. He leads from Dan Hegarty and Tom McHale, of course, who took a wonderful win back at Brands Hatch in similar conditions to this at the start of the season. Looking a bit further back, that was 111, Ryan Peters. 26 riders still left in the field after losing a couple early on. There is number 100, Connor Tagg, closing in on Tom McHale. Connor Tagg, just 17 years old. Hard to believe when you consider that he's been a part of ThundersportGB since 2008, when we first saw him as a super team. Last year, the runner-up of the Aprilia 450 Championship and the winner of the GP2. Back at the front of the RLR Motorsports.com 600 Sportsman Elite, there is Andy Lawson that leads from Dan Hegarty, the championship leader, with Tom McHale third, Connor Tagg fourth. The 4 races we're bringing you in today's programme. If you're looking to see the other races from these classes, don't forget to get onto ThundersportGB.com and just click on the iPlayer icon to catch all of the other races from ThundersportGB at Mallory Park today. Through the bus stop come the leaders. Scotsman, Andy Lawson, a bit of a wobble through there ahead of Dan Hegarty. Tom McHale doing all he can to try and close that gap back to the leaders, but he's got company in the form of Connor Tagg there. And Connor has got some good results over the last few years around Mallory Park. Come rain or shine, he's always there or thereabouts. And this is a very strong field. Some of these riders will be looking for wildcard rides in British Supersport later on in the season. Last year's champion, Ben Field, has already contested a couple of British Championship rounds this year and has fared reasonably well. Into Ed Wieners, Andy Lawson still from Hegarty, Tom McHale in third with Connor Tagg in fourth. Kyle Wilkes doing very well just behind, number 23 on the Kawasaki. Good to have him up in the top 5 or 6. Danny Murphy's still trying to recover from a bad start. He's in about 7th or 8th. Through the bus stop they go. Lawson it is that still leads from number 8, Dan Hegarty, who will also be racing in the GP1, the Morello Services GP1 race a little bit later on. There's 224, Barry Teasdale riding on the Honda CBR, rider that, courtesy of his victories and his great points tally at Donington Park in the pre-national sport 600s, has won an entry into the Sportsman Elite for this weekend at Mallory Park, and he's up into the top 10. So Barry Teasdale having a cracking weekend here at Mallory Park. Back to the front, Andy Lawson struggling to shake off the advances of Dan Hegarty. You just wonder whether Dan Hegarty is biding his time, as there's a great scrap going on inside the top 6 or 7 there. Danny Murphy included in that. And number 111 again going through, Ryan Peters. Lawson it is, though, that still leads this one from Dan Hegarty. Scotland versus England. Dan, a rider from Nottingham, sponsored by Cross Lane Garage. And Andy Lawson from Arbroath on the east coast of Scotland. Around Gerrards and onto the Stebby Straight, and a little bit of a rear end wobble from Dan Hegarty, and on the brakes this time around he's decided just to stay behind Lawson. I wonder if Lawson will have that +0 on the pit board. This, of course, still very, very slippery. Wet tyres as they head around the S's and up towards Shaw's hairpin. So Barry Teasdale 10th, Dan Harrison 11th, Simon Critchlow 12th, Sam Thompson 13th, and there is 176 Darryl Jones just ahead of number 7 Jodie Chalk, female rider that was once in a Aprilia Super Teen and has made the jump up a couple of years ago to the 600, doing very well inside the points in the Sportsman Elite Championship, sponsored by RLRmotorsports.com. Lawson still leads from Hegarty. Further back, that is number 38, Dan Harrison, who I mentioned, just trying to get himself up in the top 10 at the moment, currently 11th. Down the back straight and into Edwinas once more comes Andy Lawson, a double ThundersportGB champion ahead of Dan Hegarty, looking to become a double Thundersport champion this year if he can win both this championship and the Morello Services GP1s that will be coming up later on. There's Blake Wilds, who we saw just making an error at the start of the race, was stuck in the mud at Edwinas, but he's made his way past Ryan Peters. Coming under attack once more from Dan Hegarty. Hegarty trying to get on the power as early as possible around the Devil's Elbow and onto the start-finish straight. Pit boards are out, so it will be saying +0 to Andy Lawson, and it'll just be saying go for it on Dan Hegarty's. In third place, it is still Tom McHale, and Connor Tagg is hovering, he's shadowing his every move, but Kyle Wilkes in 5th place has caught up with these two. Kyle obviously looking for his first podium in the RLRmotorsports.com 600 Sportsman Elite. Back to the front, these two have zipped off into the distance, around 11 or 12 seconds ahead of the rest of the pack. It's still Lawson, 101, carefully tiptoeing into Edwinas and out towards the S's. Not long to go in this race, and he can't get rid of Dan Hegarty. Hegarty's experienced in these races, and he's taking a wide line into Shaw's Hairpin. There's a number of lines you can take through there. It doesn't really help you as you go into the bus stop and you all just close up again. But now is where you've got to get that power on as early as you dare, around the Devil's Elbow, onto the start-finish straight. There's a few dry lines appearing here. Not much water to be cleared. The wet tyres will be getting hot and sticky. Still a few wet patches and puddles on the start-finish straight there. There's traffic ahead for the leaders. Into Edwinas, number 101, the Kawasaki of Andy Lawson, the super stock bike, I should just add, leading the Formula 600 of Dan Hegarty. Just a couple of laps remaining into the S's, and Lawson getting a bit held up, and that's worked out quite well for Dan Hegarty. There's a few other changes going on. That's Kyle Wilkes passing Connor Tagg, number 67. That is Matt Pearce, and Darrell Harrison, number 72, going through on the Suzuki GSX-R 600. Hegarty trying to find a spot on this circuit where he's able to pass Andy Lawson. You'd say the best chance he's got is into Edwinas. Connor Tagg there, just losing out to Kyle Wilkes, who's fallen back by a couple of seconds. Back at the front, the leaders, no change yet. Hegarty just deciding to stay in second place. And Andy Lawson has left the braking too late there and runs on. Now, has he made an advantage? Not especially. He rejoins just ahead of Dan Hegarty, so you could say there's no change at all there. No advantage has been made, so there's no real need for the clerk of the course to get involved, but either way, Hegarty has taken advantage of that, and you just wonder whether Lawson's unsure in his own mind as to what he's got to do there. He's rolled off the gas into Shaw's Hairpin and has given Hegarty a chance. The last lap flag is out, and it's a perfect time to lead this one. And Hegarty has not only got out in front, but he's pulled out a gap of about half a second. I don't think that Lawson's going to have an answer back for him. Lawson will be kicking himself. This is the 16th lap of the RLR Motorsport 600 Elite Race, and after that mistake, we could just be saying goodbye to Lawson in this one. His chances of winning are looking very slim. They go into Edwinas. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's the only chance left now for Lawson is if he can get a good drive out of Edwinas through the S's and up towards Shaw's Hairpin, but it doesn't look like he's anywhere near close enough to make a move. Further back in the fight for third place, Ross Ashman has made his way past Danny Murphy and Kyle Wilkes and is up into the top three. They exit the bus stop. Oh, what a race this has been from Dan Hegarty, picking up on the mistake from Andy Lawson and crossing the line to win and extend his championship lead. Andy Lawson takes second. Importantly, he does win the Superstock 600 race, but he will be very upset with himself, I'm sure, after that mistake going into Edwinas. Let's check out the results. Hegarty it is that wins overall, ahead of Andy Lawson, who wins the Superstock 600. Ross Ashman, third Superstocker, ahead of Danny Murphy, Carl Wilkes and Connor Tang. Andy Lawson it is that wins the Superstocks, ahead of Ross Ashman and Danny Murphy. And the Formula 600s, it's Dan Hegarty that wins from Tom McHale and Barry Teasdale. Standings then, Hegarty it is that leads, hell of a lead over Andy Lawson. Murphy in third, ahead of Hornsey, McHale and Connor Tag in sixth.
Andy Lawson, winner of the RLR Motorsports Superstock 600. Fantastic win for you in that, but also you had a fantastic scrap with the overall winner, Dan Hegarty.
Yeah, it was a good scrap. The weather was iffy going out. It was been raining. It came in sunshine. I thought, do we go out on wets or dries? I went for wets along with everyone else, and it was just treacherous conditions out there. The tyre was going off towards then, as was Dan's. We were both sliding about all over the place. I was actually happy just to bring it home, actually.
Well, I saw you come through the devil's elbow, and it was moving around like a big one. And obviously Dan got you then into Gerrard's, but absolutely fantastic. Who do you want to thank, mate?
Well, I'd like to thank Pip. He's helped us last year with the CB500. He's given us a bit of money towards this year as well. My dad for bringing us down to all the race meetings, and also Dad for bringing us down as well. They split the lifts, and also he's given us tyres this weekend as well. So major thanks to them. Without them, I wouldn't be able to do it. Dan, that was a great scrap. I mean, he kept you honest there.
Yeah, I'll just let Andy set the pace, because when he got out in front, I knew he was on a good pace, and it was a good plan really. Instead of us scrapping, we made a gap on everybody else, and just sort of gave me most of the race to sort of eye him up, see where I was faster, which wasn't really anywhere. I had a faster bike for once, which is not normal for me. I'm usually on the slower one, it was nice, but then Andy had a bit more rear grip, so it was a bit of a trade-off, pretty equal race, and yeah, he made a mistake at the end, so hopefully, because I was pressuring him, and yeah, it paid off. Just got my head down then and just hit the apexes and brought it home. Well,
it was a spectacular watch, I can tell you. Everyone was on the edge of their seat. Who have you got to thank, Dan?
Especially Cross Lane Garage Ian, because he's given me such a good bike for this year. It was Superstock last year, and it's been improved, as I said before, by Gearlink Kawasaki. And then SPR Racing, they've put so much time into it with me. And then the Thompsons and Cross Lane Garage, and just everyone that's helps me, my mum, all the family's here because it's a local round, so it's a good aura this weekend. And Roger as well, he's come to see me. I've been for a long time, so thank you.